Alright guys, if you're enjoying this tutorial, please consider subscribing. That helps me out heaps. And also we release videos every Monday, 7 PM New Zealand time, so there's lots to look forward to. You can download the chords and lyrics, and the link to that is in my description box below. It'll take you to my website where you can download the chords and the lyrics all together, and that's helpful for you. Cool. Now let's get started. I'm going to teach you how to play each of these chord shapes and the plucking pattern as we go. It's very simple, but some of the chord shapes are probably new to you guys. So the first one is an A minor 11th chord. Okay, A minor 11. Now to play an A minor 11, we're going to use our middle finger on the 5th fret of our lowest string, or our E string. And then we're also at the same time going to place on the 5th fret our ring finger on the 5th fret of our D string. That's our 4th string, 1, 2, 3, 4. And also our 5th fret of our G string. That's the G string on the guitar, not the G string on your butt. Okay, so that's your little finger on that 5th fret G string as well. So those 3 fingers are jammed together to play 5th fret of each of those strings. And then our first finger is down here on the 3rd fret of our B string, our 2nd string, okay, to play this D note there, and that's what makes it an A minor 11. Great chord. You can use it to substitute an A minor. Okay, just a regular old A minor 7, you can make it A minor 11, which the guitarist has done in this case. Okay, now we may as well talk our plucking pattern here. So the plucking pattern goes boom, boom, slap, boom, boom. Is there a technical way to describe that? Probably, but for me, and you most likely, it's just easier if we just think of it as pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck. Okay? Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck. Again, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck. Stop, pluck. Yeah, just before the end there's a stop, pluck. So that's the rhythm. Boom, boom, stop. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. Yeah, that's sounding so crazy. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. Yeah, that's the plucking pattern. Now I will say our thumb is going to be playing the bass notes, and then these 3 fingers are going to pluck a string each. So this is for the D string, this middle finger is for your G string, and then your ring finger is plucking the B string. Okay, so every time we're plucking a string each with each of those fingers, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, 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 stop. Okay, now our second chord is D, what is it, like a D13? That would be it if you were to play the full chord. But in this case, we're actually just going to bar the 5th fret, all of the strings except for the low E string. Okay, so bar all of these 5 strings, and add with your little finger or your ring finger this B note on our high E string. Okay, now this time we're only playing the bass note, which is the A string again, the A string this time, and then we're grabbing the 3 highest notes of the chord. Okay, that's G string, B string, and E string. Okay, and this time we're going pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, and then we're going to take off our little finger and play this. Wow, would be like a D9 chord. Okay, but we're only playing 1 finger barring the 5th fret. Okay, same strings. When you take your little finger off, still the bass note on this A string, and then the highest 3 strings. Okay, so same strings. So that second chord is D13, and then we take it off for that pluck, and then stop, pluck. Pluck, 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 stop, pluck. Go again. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. Okay, so far we have A minor 11, stop, pluck. Now D13 to D9. Okay. Now our next chord is a B minor 7. Now that could be done by just barring the 7th fret, all of the strings. Okay, or if you prefer, you can use your middle finger and do it like that. Whatever works for you. Okay, Okay, that one's quite simple. The bass note is on the low E string. Pluck, pluck, pluck. Okay, and then our next chord, this is probably going to be a new chord shape to you. It's a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Okay, so for this B minor 7 flat 5, we are going to use our middle, just the same way we played an A minor 11, right? Exactly the same. For these 3 fingers are the exact same, except they're not on the 5th fret now, we're on the 7th fret because we're playing a B minor chord. Okay, now, instead of playing this finger here, that would be a B minor 11 chord, right? That new shape that we learned. If we take that and we move it up a fret, okay, this makes B minor 7 flat 5 chord. Sounds horrible by itself, eh? But in context, it sounds really cool when it resolves to this, our next chord. So that's a minor 7 flat 5 chord, a new chord shape for you most likely. And it's going to take a little bit of practice to fit all your fingers to where they want to be. Like if you look at my fingers right now, it is doing some alien stretching there, and I have very, very wide fingers, so it makes it super tricky to play that one, and takes a lot of practice to find a sweet spot for your fingers, but you'll get there eventually. Okay, the plucking pattern, same, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. Okay, and then change to our last chord, which is an E7 chord, quite simply. So an E7 chord is using our ring finger on the 7th fret of our A string. Then our middle finger goes to the 6th fret of our D string. Our little finger plays the 7th fret of our G string, and then our first finger is playing the 5th fret of our B string, our 2nd string. Okay, and you can even play this open E because that's, as we know, it's the same as this E there, so you're just doubling up on that note. And you can even play the low E bass if you like, open E bass. So all the strings are playable for that chord. Yeah, so the change between the B minor 7 flat 5, pluck, stop, pluck, and then change quickly to the E7. So pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, bum, 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 stop, pluck. Okay, B minor 7 flat 5, E7. There we go. So those are our chords. Let's put it together slowly. A minor 11 rather. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck, pluck. Now we're going to our D13. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. D9, pluck, stop, pluck. And then a B minor 7. Pluck, stop, pluck, pluck. And now a B minor 7 flat 5. Pluck, pluck, stop, pluck. E7. And I like to kind of outline that chord by plucking the notes individually after I've played the, just to fill in that part there. So in context. Something like that to fill it out a little bit. Totally optional, of course. And that is the whole song. I hope that's been helpful. If you've enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. Subscribe. And we'll see you again on Monday next week for more tutorials. Otherwise, follow along on the social medias for little mini tutorials and other content as well. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and later, bro.